BA knows it can't afford to lose that focus.
The scale of BA's achievement in making a small profit can be gauged by the fact that since September the 11th, US airlines collectively have lost more than £10 billion. It really is tough out there. And what's with SARS, terrorism and a wobbling global economy, BA may well slip back into loss this year. Jeff Randall, BBC News at Heathrow Airport.
The Queen has enjoyed a look at the gardens in this year's Chelsea Flower Show before thousands of members of the public arrive on the first official day tomorrow. The show is in its 81st year and it's proving as popular as ever. Well, I'm very sorry about that, and if we get the sound back on that report from the Chelsea Flower Show, we'll be there in a few minutes. But in the meantime, the season may have only just ended for some of England's top footballers, but already the national squad are preparing for their friendly against South Africa, where they'll be meeting Nelson Mandela, complete with their new suits and haircuts. Adam Parsons has this report.
A day of revelations. David Beckham showing off his new hairstyle, England's team displaying a new suit, created for their trip to South Africa this week. Its illustrious designer cited Beckham as his inspiration.
Bisogna dire che Beckham, David, ha ispirato molto questa.
David Beckham is an aesthetic icon, he told me. When he changes his look, people from around the world follow him. He is an inspirational figure. But going to Africa will take its toll on players tired after a long season, and that's their dilemma, keen to rest, just as keen to play for their country.
It's not ideal, but you have to prepare, you have to stay fit and focused, and two friendlies are important to keep yourself going, and after that, prepare right, win the game and go on your holiday, simple as that.
It sounds easy, but Beckham and company know the danger of distraction. They still need to qualify for next year's European Championship. If they don't, they'll be branded failures. So the focus here is on Beckham's hair, Armani's suits and Mandela's handshake. But there is a serious issue. With England facing some vital matches soon, should they really be flying to South Africa for a friendly? Adam Parsons, BBC News, with the England squad.
Right, we'll try to go back to the Chelsea Flower Show, the Queen's visit there today. Here's Jenny Bond.
At Chelsea today, the Queen came face to face with one of Her Majesty's inmates. He was part of a team from Leyhill Prison who've built a show garden called No Time to Stand and Stare. It's an oasis of the kind of natural beauty which, for the time being, its creators are not at liberty to enjoy. On safer ground in the floral halls, the Queen took a particular interest in some of the more exotic displays from the Caribbean, while her daughter-in-law, the Countess of Wessex, on her first official engagement since the announcement that she's pregnant, went for a rather closer encounter. One of the more unusual exhibits is the intriguingly named Wrong Garden. It defies gravity with water that flows uphill, or at least appears to, and is the creation of James Dyson, the vacuum cleaner designer, who found it quite a challenge.
We built all sorts of prototypes to try and get it right over a period of about 12 months, and this is the final result. And it's the same with anything you create or invent. You don't do it quickly. You make lots and lots and lots of mistakes until you get something surprising that works really well.
All the gardeners here have been battling against the vagaries of the British weather to bring their blooms to perfection at just the right time. The result is a visual feast, and the scent is overpowering. And this year there is a new and very special rose. It is the Soham rose, grown in memory of the murdered schoolgirls Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman. Its sales will help benefit the appeal fund set up in their name. Jenny Bond, BBC News, at the Chelsea Flower Show.
I'll be back a little later with an update on the day's headlines, but now we join our news teams across the UK. Bye for now.
Welcome to BBC London News. He says it's the best city in the world, and now the mayor's put his money where his mouth is. A new tourism chief for London was announced today. David Campbell's appointment gives a boost to the campaign to bring the Olympics to the capital, even though his £250,000 salary has raised eyebrows. Ken Livingstone says he's worth it. So what's the new boss taking on? Amanda Harper has this report.
A signature worth £250,000 a year if he delivers the goods. David Campbell's signing up to work for the Mayor and put London back on the tourist map after a year of falling sales.
We're very good in Britain at telling people what we do wrong and not telling people what we do right. And we've got to turn that on its head, start accentuating the positives and minimising the negatives.
So who is he? Well, he started life as one of Pepsi's youngest marketing managers before moving on as Virgin Radio's chief executive in 1992, selling a company that was worth $6 million for $46 million. Then on to Chris Evans' Ginger Media Group, again selling up in 2000 with the company's value having doubled. After that, it was stints at the Ministry of Sound and Zenith Entertainment. But can corporate ingenuity solve some of London's problems? We asked what you'd like to see.
Print this a little larger. Even with glasses on, it's very difficult.
London Tourist Board has, not done very much for London. As far as I can see, all they've ever done is marketed theatres.
We just want to say, just do your best, and that's all you can do, really, is your best.
The challenge ahead's not an easy one. War with Iraq and terrorist threats have seen tourist numbers drop by 20%. And there's also plenty to do on the home front, clearing up the West End, making theatre tickets more affordable, and of course, building a reputation for the capital that will help it seal victory in the race for the Olympics.
Clearly, they have a major role in pushing the issue of the Olympics, because people don't just come here to run or swim, they also come here to enjoy their period while they're here.
Plenty to chew over on day one for David Campbell, out and about in Brick Lane with the Mayor today. He'll know there's no such thing as a free lunch when your salary runs into six figures. Amanda Harper, BBC London News.
Well, London would struggle to stage the Olympics without the much delayed £4 billion Crossrail project. According to a leaked Treasury document, London's transport network wouldn't be able to cope with the volume of spectators who could attend the Games in 2012. And security costs could add well over £100 million to the price of staging the Games. Detectives investigating the desecration of a body at Hillingdon Hospital have arrested a 20-year-old man. The incident happened inside the hospital's mortuary, where pieces of bacon were placed on the body of a Muslim woman. The man from Hayes has been released on bail. Detectives investigating the murder of businessman Amarjit Chauhan say there's no evidence he was involved in the drugs trade. After days of speculation about his business dealings, the police have tried to turn attention back to the search for 4 members of the family still missing. Police have made fresh appeals for information as to their whereabouts. Now, pilots landing planes at Luton Airport have had an unusual distraction to contend with as they try and communicate with air traffic control. A crying baby was heard over the radio as they came into land. Experts were called in to explain the mystery, and they traced the noise back to a baby monitor interfering with the airport's radio waves. Well, air traffic control maintained there was no threat to security because of the interference. It's not that Freya Spratley's loud when she cries. It's just that she got a bit of an unexpected audience tuning into her via her baby monitor. Pilots hundreds of feet up in the air looking to communicate with air traffic control heard Freya because the wavelength used by the device was similar to those used at the airport.
Sort of like something out of the Ghostbusters. They came down the path after me, stopped me, said we need to get into your house to check whether there's interference coming from your house to the Luton Airport traffic control.
The National Air Traffic Service handles about 2 million flights a year, and interference is rare. But the baby monitor, which was faulty, managed to send out radio frequencies, interrupting transmissions from the control tower. Freya, oblivious to the commotion that was being caused at the airport, was tracked down by the Radio Communications Agency. It took them 12 hours to find the source of the crying and asked the Spratleys to change their monitor.
He said that they had experienced this problem some 5 years ago on a very few monitors that happened to be near to airports.
The manufacturers have now exchanged the monitor while they investigate the problem, and Freya is free to cry in private to her heart's content. Well, there's a new landmark on the Thames, but it's not a permanent feature. It's the latest work to go on show at the Tate Modern. It's more than 100 feet high, inflatable and designed to overpower visitors. Matthew Morris explains.
If you wander along the Millennium Bridge today, you're in for a big surprise. It's sitting outside the Tate Modern, it's 115 feet high, and it's baffling passers-by.
Just trying to sit there and figure out what it is.
That just looks a bit like Bertie Bassett.
Is it like a Buddha thing?
Not quite. It's actually a figure based on the character Pinocchio. The curious will today be able to walk inside what Tate staff say is probably the largest inflatable sculpture in the world, sitting next to its slightly smaller companion, apparently inspired by a tomato ketchup bottle. London's latest flexible friends are up until October. Matthew Morris, BBC London News.
Well, entertainment on a different level now, and buskers are being allowed to perform legally at some tube stations for the first time. London Underground has issued licences for 12 stations as part of a pilot scheme. The decision to allow performers to entertain the crowds follows feedback which show that most people like a bit of music while they travel. Well, that's it from everybody on the late team. Gillian's back here tomorrow morning, but now I'll hand you back to Hugh. Good night from all of us here.
The main news tonight, shareholders in GlaxoSmithKline, Europe's biggest drug company, have rejected a multi-million-pound package for its executives in a revolt against so-called fat cat deals. The company's chief executive could have netted more than £20 million, but investors have said no. And the Prime Minister has been holding talks tonight with the man drafting Europe's new constitution. Newsnight is starting now over on BBC Two, but from the 10 o'clock news, good night.
Good evening. Well, I think the easiest job at Chelsea this week could well be the watering crew. They'll probably be able to stand back and watch it fall out of the sky. A pretty unsettled week ahead. And it was certainly falling out of the sky today for most of us. The showers, once they got going, were pretty heavy, pretty widespread too. This particular area was rather nasty as it ran through England and Wales. Still the remnants of that left across the northeast at the moment, and another area of cloud and rain running down across Ireland. That'll tend to slip down across the Irish Sea, bringing its rain with it, and also producing some fairly strong winds, in fact touching gale force possibly through parts of the Irish Sea. Certainly some pretty blustery winds for North Wales, moving in across the Manchester area through the southern Pennines during the course of the night. The Severn Estuary likely to turn rather breezy as well. But by the end of the night, the strongest winds beginning to push out into the North Sea. And we're left with a band of cloud and rain, really, from Northern Ireland down through the northern parts of Wales, the Midlands, probably Lincolnshire and East Anglia as well. A fairly poor start to the day. To the south of that, well, a lot of dry weather to be found, I think. Some brightness as well. And also to the north of that band, some brighter weather, perhaps for the northeast of England, certainly for many parts of Scotland to start the day away from that east coast. But the showers will break out once again across Scotland, I think, through the afternoon. Fairly slow moving, so if you get one, it'll last a while. Equally, you could well stay dry for a fairly lengthy spell. Still fairly cloudy through those central areas. Northern Ireland, though, brightening up. And south of the Bristol Channel and the Thames Estuary, a good chance of some places managing to stay dry, really, through most of the day. Quite a breeze continuing, though, across England and Wales during tomorrow. But you'll notice the wind's much lighter across Scotland. So here it actually won't feel too bad. 15 Celsius, quite reasonable. 15 Celsius further south, where it's windy, is going to feel a little on the cool side. As I say, it is an unsettled week ahead. The next batch of rain pushing in quite quickly from the southwest as we go into Tuesday night, and that's going to spread to many western areas as we go into Wednesday. Some dry weather for a time further east, some brightness in fact across the northeast of Scotland, but the heavier rain spreading in here as the day goes on. But a good chance of southern parts of England managing to stay dry, perhaps even touching 18 degrees, feeling reasonably warm in the southeast. Now, at the end of the week, the forecast has changed a bit since I did Countryfile yesterday, all because this area of low pressure is pushing a bit further south, so it's nudging that front out of the way, allowing the showers to come back in. So many of us seeing those showers on Thursday, some more prolonged rain edging away from the south, and Friday sees those showers returning to just about all parts of the UK. That's it, an unsettled week.
Bye bye, baby, you lied to me, baby.
Nice, that sounds crazy.
Baby, bye bye.
Cry, cry, baby, you lied. You lied
to me, baby. Smile. Without you,
well,
baby.
if that's what the Latvians make of our song,
Baby, bye bye.
what on earth are we going to make of theirs? Join the UK entry Gemini and check out the best that our European neighbours have to offer on the Eurovision Song Contest in Riga in sunny Latvia, Saturday at 8 on BBC One and Radio 2.
Sonia Baker was on a hit list. The police think she committed suicide.
When motives can be questioned.
We shouldn't be keeping that evidence.
When the press reports proof.
Colin's tight.
You find anything out, you me first. When there's no one left to trust.
No way am I risking my life for this.
I can handle this situation, but only one thing at a time.
Nothing is as it seems.
Even we don't know what we're talking about yet.
What is the state of play? Continues Sunday at 9 on BBC One.
And if you missed the first episode of State of Play, don't worry, you've another chance to see it on Wednesday at 10:35 on BBC One. Now we're talking sitcom with Dawn French.